I'll just give it a minute or so to get everyone onto the Facebook Live. Just give it a few more seconds, then we'll crack on. So I'm going to start now. Those that come on and off, it will keep updating anyway. So we're going to begin now. So just a bit of what we're going to go through. Obviously, it's about your run up to mainstream Christmas launch on the 13th of November. I'm going to talk a bit about the Christmas specs and also the Christmas Day specs. A bit about how we're going to nail those perfect dishes coming out of the kitchen. So a bit about turkey, a bit about the roast potatoes, veg, gravy, etc. Going to talk about some vegan options that are on the menu and how that affects you and your ordering. Also a bit about the stock taking process and building up your stock over Christmas, and a bit about your pre-order and how you get your pre-order in for Christmas Day, and nailing large tables. If you've got any questions, can you just whack them into the comment box? You can answer them, and also I can answer them as I go along as well, or afterwards. So obviously why we're here, obviously to go through Christmas and a bit about the Christmas fair, but obviously we need to make sure that Christmas is the biggest and best ever. And from my point of view, the key part of that is the kitchen and food, and hence why you guys are on the Facebook Live now. You are key parts of this, and us nailing that is all down to you, really, in the kitchen, being organised, being prepared for what's to come. So for some of you, this might be your first ever Christmas at your site. Some of you might have done it, I know, 7, 8 times before. So all the information here is useful information for everyone, even if you're first time for Christmas or it's your 10th time. So we'll send these slides out afterwards. So just try and take as much notes down as you can. So I'm going to run through the Festive fair specs first, and I'm not going to dwell too much on a lot of things because this is the same as last year. We're just going to talk about some key points for each dish. So first one, guys, chicken liver pate, really easy one to do. This is already the pre-done one, so that's the chicken and herb pate. And for those with large parties, or for a Saturday party night, you've got 40 coming in, 20 of them having pate, you can pre-do these on your plates ready in the fridge. So you just have to leave the toast off till last. But again, for speed of service for those large parties, this one's a really easy one to get out. Soup, this is your maple flavoured root vegetable soup. So this is a vegetable option, a veggie option. So that comes with the butter, but it's also a vegan option. Again, you just take away the butter from the bread. Again, for speed of service, have these ready in your bain-marie, all ready to go. Really, really easy one to do. The Christmas classic of the prawn cocktail. The key you want to this is making sure you get the correct amount of prawns out. So it's 70 grams of defrosted prawns. It's a really, really expensive food item, is the prawn. So it's making sure you put the right amount on the plate, not giving too much, but then also not skimping. So they are having a consistent amount of prawns per dish. That comes with 40 mils of cocktail sauce. And again, bread and butter. Again, this is one you can pre-do in the fridge for your larger parties if you know they're coming. And then it's really easy to get out for speed of service for you in the kitchen and also for the front of house team. Stilton and peppercorn mushrooms. Again, this is half a garlic shea batter, 95 grams of pan-fried mushrooms. Then over the top is a peppercorn sauce, 15 grams of crumpled blue Stilton, and just a little garnish of watercress. Again, speed of service, I'd have these in a pasta boiler or a bain-marie, peppercorn sauce. It's a real easy, cut it open and put on the plate and go. Again, we should really be able to nail this one out on the larger parties. So for the classic Christmas dinner, this is for the 2018 version. So 150 grams of your turkey lobe. I'll go through the turkey and the sizes after we go through the specs. One of your Yorkshire puddings, 25 grams your cranberry sauce, one of your pigs in blankets, 200 grams of your roast potatoes, 40 grams of your stuffing, and 100 mils of your gravy. Your Christmas festive veg options are 60 grams of Brussels sprouts, 60 grams of broccoli, 60 grams of carrot, and 60 grams of honey roasted parsnips. So that will be the same over all the dishes in terms of veg option and potato option, unless it's a vegan or veggie dish. So really important that we nail the quantities on this. Your veggie option is a butternut squash sweet potato. The potato options are there. The potato option, this one, sorry, is a buttered new potato. But the veg is the same as previously. So 60 grams of Brussels, 60 grams of broccoli, 60 grams of carrots, and 60 grams of honey roasted parsnips, and that's served with vegetable gravy. For your festive burger, this is also your walk-in burger. Again, comes with the festive fries. And that comes with your burger, which has got smoked bacon, cranberry sauce, and brie cheese in there. And on the side, you've got your fries with stuffing and pigs in blankets. Your vegan option for this one, you've got a beetroot sweet potato and butternut squash tart. Again, your veg options are carrots, broccoli, and sprouts, and that comes with vegan roast potatoes. So for those, you need to make sure they're going in the oven or into the Merry Chef. So please don't put them into the fryer because that'll just absolutely ruin them. And that's with a Napolitan sauce for vegan, so it's really important. It says on the spec to do these from frozen, but if you've got an X amount out for a certain party, you can easily do them in the oven. Festive pie, same as last year, so that's turkey stuffing and cranberry. That's served with your festive veg and mashed potato, again served with your premium gravy. Other main for the festive fare is a sirloin, an 8 out of 28 day aged rump steak with peppercorn sauce. That's served with onion rings, half a tomato, peas, and peppercorn sauce. Important things here to remember about the steak. The steak is the main part of the dish. So are we seasoning the steak before cooking? And also are we resting the steak before plating up? Really important that we nail those. Sea bass risotto, did this last year as well, so it's really important that we just follow the spec on this one. It's a really nice dish. So it's 2 fillets of sea bass, your risotto, bit of carrot and parsnip in there as well, just mixed together. But again, make sure we are finishing it off with the watercress on top. It's all those little touches that will make the dish stand out, and especially on a festive party, we need to go that extra mile, make sure we are following the spec fully. So the first dessert for the festive fare is a Kentish Bramley apple and mincemeat crumble. Again, you can pre-portion these, 150 grams of the compote and 60 grams of the crumble mix. Just need to microwave it and just finish it off under the grill and the Merry Chef to get the colour on top. That's served with custard. Make sure, again, it's all the finishing touches with the icing sugar and the mint on top. Classic Christmas pudding. So this one's served with brandy sauce, but you can, obviously, if customers want custard, you can offer custard. For the pack size, out of each loaf, you get 10 slices. So that's 5 portions. So if you always remember that when you're doing your prep, that you can get 5 portions out each loaf. So that's really important that people slice the Christmas. Warm chocolate fudge cake, really easy, 20 seconds in the microwave. Just be careful not to overdo this one. Again, mint icing sugar and ice cream on that. And this is your vegan option. So it's a chocolate and cherry tort, which is served with vegan ice cream. Again, this will be across the whole of Locals Estate on the vegan menu. It's really important that we again follow the icing sugar and mint on top. This is one that's just will be coming off your menu, but you still have the cheesecake bar. So any limoncello cooler that you've got left, please keep that in your freezers. And just use this up on the Christmas desserts. So there also is an option of the cheese and biscuits. So that is Crocs and Manor Brie, white and mature cheddar, and blue Stilton. 35 grams of each, obviously served with some black grape, some biscuits, and some chutney as well. Moving on to Christmas Day. The first one is the spiced parsnip soup. Again, that comes in a frozen pouch, and you see the decant. Either you can put it in a pasta boiler or put it in a microwave, but whatever you've got for your equipment, and thinking on Christmas Day you could be doing this for large numbers, it might be good just to have a pan of boiling water on ready. And make sure we're just finishing it off correctly, so with chives sprinkled on the top and a swirl of double cream, really important. That will really elevate the dish, especially on a Christmas Day. Next one is a bit of a classic of the smoked salmon and prawns. Slight different weights on the prawns for Christmas Day, so it's 30 grams of prawns, but you get 60 grams of the smoked salmon. The key to this dish is making sure you sort of elevate and get a bit of height when you do the salmon and the prawns, make it sort of fill the plates. Again, for speed of service and for your large bookings on Christmas Day, so if you know you've got 40 of these going out, all you got to do the last minute before they go out is just get your bread and butter on it. So really important. Think of speed of service. Think how you're going to execute this back at site on the busy times. Your next one is a chicken smoked ham hock and apricot terrine. Again, you get 60 gram slices, so make sure this is all cut up correctly to spec. As I said, like on the smoked salmon and prawns, you can pre-do this one in advance. All you have to do is put the toast on last minute. But again, if you've got 20 of those on a Christmas Day, if you can get the plates in the fridge somewhere, it'd be really good, just to really speed of service. Out the fridge, into the front of house hands, and then into the restaurant. Vegan option for soup is the one that we did in the festive fare, but just make sure we're not serving it with butter. And finally, for the starters, is the bubble and squeak. We did this last year; it was really popular. So it's a bubble and squeak puck, 2 of those, 1 poached egg, and 1 pouch of champagne hollandaise sauce. That's sitting on top of some wilted baby spinach. And again, just remember the garnishes. So just sprinkling of some hot chives over the top. But the main one for Christmas Day is the traditional turkey and hand carved ham. So again, 150 grams of turkey, and 60 grams of ham. And for the Yorkshire pudding, it's the same as Christmas Day, as a festive fare. So that's 1 Yorkshire pudding, 1 pig in blanket, 1 portion of dough and wild potatoes. The Christmas Day veg is the following: 60 grams of Brussels, 60 grams of red cabbage, 60 grams of carrots, and 60 grams of broccoli. It's important that you do heat the red cabbage up separately, so don't heat up the other veg with the red cabbage, or you'll just get it all mixed in the same color and it doesn't look very appetizing. That's served with 40 grams of stuffing and 100 mils of beef gravy. Next one is an 8-ounce sirloin steak with peppercorn sauce. Again, it's comes with the same veg and potato options that's mentioned on the festive fare. Really important that we look after the steak on this one. So seasoning before you're grilling, and also making sure that you rest it before putting it onto a plate. Next one is a fillet of salmon with prawns. Again, same potatoes and same veg. It comes with a fillet of salmon with some champagne hollandaise sauce. We're using that on the starter and on the main, and with 40 grams of cold water prawns as well. Next one is your veggie option. So this is a butternut squash, sweet potato, and mature cheddar cashew nut roast. So this is slightly different to your one on the festive fare. We're adding brie on the top with some caramelized red onion chutney. Again, it'd be the same veg and potatoes as before on Christmas Day. The vegan option is exactly the same as the festive fare, so just making sure that you're getting out the right amount of pies that you need, and make sure you are serving it with the correct Neapolitan sauce. Strawberry and orange glazed pork belly. Again, same setup with the Yorkshire puddings, potatoes, and veg, but you get a pork belly, and that has got a glaze that you put on yourself, which is cranberry and orange. Make sure you're glazing that over the top. But again, the veg is the same, so that's 60 grams of Brussels, 60 grams of red cabbage, 60 grams of carrots, and 60 grams of broccoli. Moving on to the Christmas Day dessert. So this will probably be your most popular one, the Christmas pudding. It's the same Christmas pudding as the festive fare, so 5 portions out of a loaf, and that's served with 100 mils of brandy sauce. But again, if the customer would like custard, please serve with custard. 10 grams of red currants, and again the sprig of mint. The red currants and the mint really do make this a lot more festive, a lot more Christmas Day. So people are coming out for a special occasion, so make sure we put on the correct amount of items on the plate. So if it's expect to come with red currants, we are putting red currants on each dish. A vegan option is the same as the festive fare. This is one that's currently on your menu, or will be on your menu from the 6th of November. Vanilla cheesecake with your forest fruits and sloe gin compote. Again, just make sure you get these out of the frost, and a lot of this you can pre-do. So once the mains are out of the way, you can just plate up X amount of vanilla cheesecakes ready to go for desserts. Next dessert is a Belgian chocolate and brownie bundt cake. We did this last year. It went down quite well. Again, just making sure it is literally 20 to 30 seconds in the microwave. Serve with vanilla ice cream, but again, remember putting the chocolate sauce over top, the sprig of mint, and the dusting of icing sugar. Cheese and biscuits for the option for Christmas Day. Again, same as the festive fare. So it comes with matured cheddar, Crocs and Manor Brie, and blue Stilton, and comes with the accompaniments of the black grapes biscuits and the chutney. So just going to talk about turkey. Obviously, we talked about the specs, and a lot of those specs are the same as you had the previous year. Turkey sizes will come in two different sizes. One will be a 1.75 and the other will be a 3.5 kilogram. For what I would say for this, guys, is that if you're starting off on the 13th and you've only got very few bookings and you're expecting a few walk-ins, go for the small turkey. Quicker to defrost and also less wastage and easier for you to control. If you know on a Saturday in December or on Christmas Day you've got X amount of turkeys going out at a certain time, get the large turkeys. So you get more out of it. So it's 1.75 and 3.5 kilograms. Same process as last year. Do from defrost in the fridge, and once defrosted, you can slice on a yellow board using a sharp yellow knife. Regenerating and reheating the turkey. This is where sometimes we have some issues. So one of the biggest complaints we get over Christmas is dried out turkey. It's something that really puts people off their Christmas dinners. So how are we going to look after turkey on the festive fare on Christmas Day? Simply once you've got your portions out, so you've got your slices, put in a tray of a gastro tray, cover with a thin layer of gravy, cover with cling film, then foil, then put through the oven. Though if you don't have the oven facilities, you can do that on a tray, but put it in the Merrychef, sort of 75% power and 1.5 minutes. Again, through rationale and steam. But for the small parties, maybe during the week, or like a Monday lunchtime, a couple of people have walked in, you can put your turkey in a deli pot, cover with gravy, cling film, put the lid on, put it in the microwave, and that will keep it nice and moist. So roast potatoes. So you're using the frozen roast potatoes. So the key to this is obviously using them on a Sunday, is making sure that you heat up the oil first in a tray, and then you add the potatoes. Make sure you coat the potatoes with the hot oil, then leave in the oven for 25 minutes. Obviously, you can remove shape, then return back to the oven for 15 minutes. You know your ovens better than I do, so if you've got that down already for a Sunday, just keep ensuring that you're using that process. But from my point of view, the main thing would be making sure that the oil is nice and hot and the potatoes are well coated. So vegetables. Our biggest complaint last year for Christmas was about veg, and the different remarks we got and comments we got on TripAdvisor and different reviews were about either cold veg, undercooked veg, and veg that sort of lost its colour, or really rock hard vegetables. So nailing the veg on Christmas parties and Christmas Day is really key to the meals. So vegetables grown underground, you start the cooking process in cold water. Veg grown above ground, you put straight into boiling water or preheated steamer. The key for me with veg is making sure once you've cooked it, is that you finish the cooking process really quickly by putting it into ice water. This refreshes your veg and locks in the flavour and the colour. Really, really important that we do that. We want nice, vibrant coloured veg. We don't want the sprouts that are turning yellow and really mushy, unless they're requested for that. Obviously, once you've refreshed the ice water, you just need to make sure you remove all the excess water through a colander. In terms of the veg and how you get it onto a plate, pre-portion your veg either in individual portion pots, or for larger tables, and this is very prevalent on Christmas Day, is do family serve veg. So I used to do on a larger table, so if I've got 8 tables of 10 at a certain time, get a bowl of carrots, a bowl of broccoli or bowl of sprouts, cling film it, write on what table it was for, how many it was for, what time, so basic information. And when that table was ready, I put it in the microwave, 2 minutes. Really easy for the kitchen and really easy for the front of house guys to deliver as well. And also gives that family feel for those people on the table, so they're sort of helping themselves with the veg. But the most important thing for me would be just speed of service. So if you've got to put on 3 or 4 different veg onto a plate on Christmas Day, that's going to slow down the kitchen. But if you've got these dishes with carrots or broccoli in or sprouts, it's just going to really speed up the process and also help you keep the food warm as well. I was saying about keeping the food warm, obviously I did mention at the start about one of our biggest complaints was cold veg. So making sure when we do put the veg on the plate or it leaves the kitchen, it is hot, it is steaming hot. Heated is key. Yorkshire pudding, so you're using the frozen Yorkshire pudding, so just making sure you reheat those either in your Merry Chef for the smaller parties or in the oven, but only takes 3 or 4 minutes. But if you leave them there for too long, so they start going crispy and start getting really hard, so just reheat them for the time you need. In terms of Christmas stuffing and pigs and blankets, again, just follow your current specs for what you're doing for Sundays. But the one bit of advice I give here would be, can you try and pre-stage this? So if you know you've got a big party on a Friday night, pre-cooking your pigs and blankets and stuffing maybe the day before, so then you just have to reheat them, put flashing through the oven or the Merry Chef on the day of the service. So really important, try and be as organized as you can, pre-stage as much as you can, especially for Christmas Day. Gravy, this sort of makes or breaks a Christmas dinner and also a roast dinner throughout the year, to be honest. Make sure we're following your brand spec for making gravy, but my biggest advice for this would be cook little and often. Don't have a massive pan on the stove for hours and hours and hours. One, this sort of ruins quality, but 2, is quite dangerous. So you've got to make sure that if you are hot holding, you're not more than doing that for more than 2 hours. And if it falls below 63 degrees, you're discarding it. So best to do with this is a little and often, make sure it's fresh and safe, and make sure it's really hot while it goes on the plate. For your turkey and ham, again for Christmas Day, what I would do is slice your turkey and ham day before, put it in a tray with the amount it's got on it or the party it is. Again, thin layer of gravy, put it through the oven or steamer. Again, just trying to be pre-organized and making your jobs a lot easier, a lot quicker on Christmas Day and for your big parties. So I've mentioned on a few occasions about vegan feasting and vegan options for the festive fare on Christmas Day. So the vegan market is an ever-growing market. So if you've got a table of a family of 6 and one of them is a vegan, if the vegan has got an option to go and eat somewhere, the family will normally go with that person and go to that restaurant. So us having this available in one place is really, really good from us in terms of the customer. So they want to come to us for the vegan menu. The starter is, obviously we went through the maple flavoured root veg soup with no butter. The beetroot, sweet potato and butternut squash tart. For the main vegan dessert is the chocolate and cherry tort. And for Christmas Day, the alternative for the mince pie is Prosecco sorbet. So please ensure we do offer this to all the guests, especially the vegans. As saying, these could be, you're not just maybe upsetting a vegan guest, they might have a family of 5, 6 who want to book as well. So it's quite an influential market currently. So festive ordering guide, guys. I sent them out on Friday evening. I'm going to send this presentation out, the specs and other food order guides at the end of the week. All the information will be also on the vault if you just go in the top right hand corner and search Christmas calculator and Survey Monkey. I'm going to go through in a moment. For those that are new to locals and new to mainstream, Christmas calculator is a tool we've used for the last couple of years, and we use it in other brands as well. It's basically an Excel spreadsheet that I'll send out to you with all the dishes in for festive fare on Christmas Day. And what you need to do is add in the, to say, for example, you've got a party for 100 on one Friday night. You put in how many turkey you need, how many soups you need, how many prawn cocktails, and it'll work out how many items you need. So it'll work out how many turkeys you need out, how many sprouts, how many roast potatoes, how many pigs and blankets. Just breaks it down. Instead of you trying to work out a prep list or a defrost list, it'll just make your life so much easier and give you more time in the kitchen to get prepared. I would so get behind using this and get your teams to use this. So if any GMs are on the, to really make their life easier, it will help so much with your ordering as well, so you know roughly how many cases you need. So guys, with one bit of advice from today, really get behind this and use this tool. It will make your life so much easier. So food delivery schedule, obviously I'm going to send these slides out, but for this I would print this out and put this in the office or in the kitchen. It tells you on the left hand side the normal delivery days, but on the right hand side it's telling you your revised days. So it's the items in yellow and red that you really need to pay attention to. So if you normally have a delivery on a Tuesday or Wednesday, so that'll be Christmas Day and Boxing Day this year, you're going to have a slightly revised timetable. So that's going to be coming on either Christmas Eve or Thursday the 27th of December. On New Year's Day, the Tuesday the 1st of January, there's no delivery. So it's really important that you're planning these schedules into your deliveries. So if you know you're not going to have a delivery for 2 or 3 days or 4 or 5 days, depending on the timetable, you make sure you have enough food in to cover until your next delivery. Again, guys, make sure you print this out, put it in the kitchen, put it in the office so you do know what's coming up. In terms of pre-ordering food for Christmas Day, so over the years we've had various different ways of doing it. The most successful way was last year with the Survey Monkey. So you'll be getting a Survey Monkey soon. It'll ask you how many, what food you want to be delivered just for your Christmas Day items. Again, you fill in the Survey Monkey, but what I would do is go back to your previous year's bookings and look at your bookings this year, how much you ordered, how much you're going to need, but also look at what you've got in your freezers, fridge and freezers already, in your dry stores. You might have items left over from last year. So guys, just take a bit of time over this, because you don't want to be over ordering and having boxes of sauces left for years to come. And on the other hand, it's Christmas Day, you don't want to under order and be short of something. So just need to take a bit of time over this one and make sure you fill it in before Thursday the 22nd of November for Christmas and Boxing Day. And for New Year's Eve menu items for any of those that are doing it, it will be Friday the 7th of December, but there'll be lots of correspondence about this. And again, there'll be an action to do on the vault. Christmas stock build, and this goes back to a little bit about the ordering process. So for me, my biggest bit of advice for you would be check what you've got in your freezers and your dry stores now. A lot of the menu is the same as last year, so you might have some of the champagne hollandaise sauce, for example. So using what you've got in your stock sheets now, and try and use that as a judge, use that up first, then get the new stuff in. If you're new to your site, again, check your stock sheet, check your stock holding report, and see what you've got in the freezers. You might have a freezer or residual stock somewhere. Just make sure you're checking and using that up first. In terms of crockery and consumables, if you know on Christmas Day you're going to have flooded with certain tables, you don't have enough crockery, try and build that up slowly over the next few weeks. So you're not just doing one massive order and scaring your BDM with the cost of that. To just try and build that up slowly. And that's the same process I want you to use for the food as well. So what's happened in previous years, the first week of the festive menu's gone live and everyone's panicked ordered certain items, especially turkey. So I think it was 2 years ago we had the somebody panicked order, I think was it 30 boxes of 4 bird roast when they only needed 4. So they thought they were going to run out. So that has a knock-on effect for everyone else in the supply chain, including other pubs. So if 10 people on your route are panic ordering 30 boxes of turkey and they don't need them until it's going to basically, people are going to run out and run out and run out. So it's just a knock-on effect. So my advice would be order little and often and just build it up. So that's where you're maintaining good stock levels. You're making the freezers easy to count on stock taking days, but you're also following the right guidelines. So you're just building it up slowly. So really, really key. Christmas stock taking, again, this would be a slide I'd print out for the office and for the kitchen. The idea behind this was to change it to make your lives easier and to give you more time to spend with your customers and in the kitchens and try and make the Christmas experience best for the customers. So during the Christmas trading period, the times for stock taking are as follows. Week 34, that is normal, so that'd be doing a stock on Monday the 17th of December. So the week 35, that's Christmas, the week commencing Christmas Eve. So no need to do a stock take on Christmas Eve. do a stock on either Thursday the 27th or Friday the 28th. So it's really important. Don't do a stock take on Christmas Eve. Do it on the 27th or the 28th. The following week, week 36, so that's the week commencing New Year's Eve, the 31st December. No stock take is required, guys. So please don't do a stock on that Monday. Take that time to get ready for the kitchen or get ready for a house, but please don't do a stock take on 31st December. Your next stock take will be on Monday, the 7th of January. That will be week 37. So that will be a 2-week stock. So really important. No stock take on New Year's Eve, no stock take on Christmas Eve. And your first stock take of the new year will be Monday, the 7th of January. And that will be a 2-week stock. So guys, can please print it out and pass it on to all team members. In-house Christmas cook-offs, guys. So a lot of you would have done this menu already, but for those that haven't, really good idea to run a Christmas cook-off. A guide of how you're doing that is in your Christmas handbook, which is on page 32 of your handbook that you got from the Christmas conference, Christmas roadshow you had. It's really important that you follow that guideline. And just to wrap up before I go, obviously Christmas is a really, really key time, and a lot of that is down to the kitchen and the food. People are coming for a special. You've got to think of the members of the public that come early on in the festive period. They might not decided where they want to come for their works party or for their family meal near the time. So if you nail it from day one, that would really help drive sales going forward, especially in the festive period. Just remember the key things, obviously following the specs, but in terms of the main items, turkey, pre-portion where you can, but also make sure you cover that in a thin layer of gravy when you're regenerating it. Nothing worse than dried out gravy. Veg, again, pre-portion as much as you can, put it in the family size dishes for Christmas Day or the larger tables. While locking in the flavour and refreshing it in ice cold water once you've cooked it, making sure that's going out piping hot as well. And just follow the guidelines about ordering. Don't panic order the first week of Christmas and end up with 2 boxes of champagne hollandaise sauce. Look at what you've got in your freezer. You might already have many items in there, so use that to judge your orders going through Christmas. Before I go, just say we will be sending out the slides and the video as well. I'll send out the food order guide and specs again, but if you've got any questions, obviously I'll be on, put them in the comments below. I'll try and answer them. But if not, thanks for your time and have a great Christmas. Bye. Thank you.